Okay, the EFL season is underway, and here for your pleasure, one British presenter, one novice, if not complete idiot, American presenter. I'm the idiot. I'm Josh Lewin. He's Phil Catchpole. It's like Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day. Don't want to be an American idiot, but as we say in the States, if the shoe fits, you wear it. I'm assuming you guys have that phrase as well, Phil.
Yeah, we do have that phrase. And like football, we gave football to the world, and we've given the English language and our wonderful phrases as well. So it's great that you guys are using them.
We stole a lot from you guys. Let's face it, but we haven't gotten everything yet. There's so many phrases we haven't quite nailed yet. I mean, bang on and stuff like that. We're going to get to a million of those. But the plan essentially is this, and this could be a fail of the highest possible order. Understand that. But the plan anyway is for you, Phil, to educate me, Josh, about the wonders of the English football pyramid, the EFL, not the Premier League, because that I already watch. I think a lot of Americans have gotten into that. They've seen Ted Lasso. They've heard of Liverpool. But the best 72 teams not in the Premiership, we Americans should probably try to know at least a little bit about them, right?
Absolutely. It's the heart and soul of English football. We have this amazing pyramid that goes right down from your local park right the way up to the Premier League. It's structured. There's promotions and relegations, which is why I think Americans are now becoming interested in English football, because the jeopardy of it. But yeah, the Premier League is so big now, so rich. It's lost a bit of its soul. If you want heart and soul, spit and sawdust, it's the EFL. That's where it's at.
See, spit and sawdust right there. That's something that we don't have over here yet as a phrase, and we probably should. You bring up something that's near and dear to me. I mean, I know we in America have some wacky town names too. I mean, we've got Walla Walla, for God's sake. But everywhere I look, there's a barking, a boodle, a tooting, all things that sound like basically dirty verbs. And we don't really have that. So yes, to your point, there's Barking FC in like the 9th tier of the pyramid, and there's Boodle in, I think it's like the 5th or 6th. But you're with Wycombe Wanderers, and I love that we're starting here because, full disclosure, that's how you and I met. You're the presenter for Wycombe. We call it announcer. You guys call it presenter. That's fine. But Rob Kuig is the name of the guy that owned Wycombe. He has since gotten out. He's trying to move along to Reading. You've remained, but Rob became a central featured character in this documentary that I put together and is now airing in basically bits and pieces as part of a 4-part series on CBS and on Paramount Plus. I'm very happy for that. You've got a role in it. That's how you and I met. So that's kind of my origin story. Give me a little bit, if you don't mind, about how you came to be in a gantry, I believe we call it. We don't call it that. We call it a press box, but that's where you are right now. How'd you get to be a Wycombe Wanderer?
Well, I've been a Wycombe fan since I was a young kid. We moved to High Wycombe, just outside of London, when I was really tiny. And my family are from Tottenham. We're big football fans. But Wycombe was the local non-league team playing Step 6, so 2 or 3 divisions below the Football League back then. So we went along. It was down the road. And then I got hooked straight away. And then, I got addicted because we had a guy called Martin O'Neill who's gone on to become a Premier League manager, an international manager. And he took Wycombe from amateur. So the players had full-time jobs and played football on Saturdays and on Tuesday nights. And then we became a professional club and we went into the Football League and we've been there ever since. So I was hooked. So I was on the terrace, which is to my left now, with all my mates from school. We're still in a WhatsApp group today talking about the team and what's going on. So that's how I got hooked, really. And it's just a wonderful club. It's part of the community. So, yeah, it just made perfect sense to keep coming.
So Wycombe was or were, because, again, we do the whole plural versus singular thing differently. I would say Wycombe is, you would say Wycombe are. Be that as it may, used to be that Wycombe was way down where Wrexham used to be, and Americans got to know Wrexham. I wanted to call this documentary not Wrexham, by the way, and my lawyers talked me out of it. But that was kind of the whole idea, that you don't have to be handsome and famous like Ryan Reynolds to own one of these teams over there if you're from North America. You guys opened this past weekend, out of all places, Wrexham. So how was that experience going to, did you meet Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney? Did you bump elbows? How did that go?
I did meet them. To be honest with you, I'm not a big watcher of Marvel and stuff, so he's not really in my kind of area. I know of him because of Wrexham, weirdly, not because he's a Hollywood film star. But I think Wrexham and Wycombe are two perfect clubs to explain the pyramid for American fans, because for large parts of Wrexham's history, they've been a pro club, huge history in the Football League. Wycombe weren't pro until the early 90s. They switched places at the start of this century. Wrexham had some real problems financial off the pitch. They got relegated out of the Football League. They were out for a long, long time. And then it took the Hollywood money to come in to revitalise them. And they've written a hell of a script as well, which the players have delivered on the pitch. To go there on Saturday, having seen, all the pizzazz and everything around Wrexham, was absolutely brilliant, because it's such a wonderful club. The people there are so friendly. The fans, you can tell they're enjoying their lives at the moment, because they're on the back of 2 successive promotions. They're enjoying watching a winning football team. And it isn't always like that, by the way, because teams will have terrible, terrible patches. There'll be Wrexham fans who've been going for 50 years that will tell you the pain that their team has caused them. At the moment, they're having a great time, and the atmosphere there on Saturday was phenomenal. Yes, the Hollywood circus was there too. And for someone who steeps in lower league football, to see some of the sparkle sprinkled over League One and League Two last season is wonderful to see. And also the attention it brings. My phone was popping all last week from my mates who know nothing about football, said, "Hey, you're going to go and see Ryan Reynolds on Saturday." I was like, how do you even know about this? And of course, it's the Hollywood magic.
All right. So again, let's kind of lean into that, and full disclosure, full transparency, pull the curtain back, that Phil was part of this effort that I had to try to get Americans to understand all of this with this documentary thing. So I want to play the trailer for you here, Phil, and just get your reaction to it. If I can figure out how to actually get this done. Hold on one second. Now we're just seeing me. I don't want that. I want you back because you're prettier than I am. But I also want to add to the stage this trailer. So here we go.
Can we do your interview now?
Is this a 3 old guys jealous of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, Doc? Yeah, I guess.
I'm Kevin Day, and today on the Price of Football podcast, the show that looks at the money behind the beautiful game, American invasion or infestation.
Hi, I'm Rob Kuhig. I'm a 74-year-old lawyer.
Wycombe Wanderers, bought by Rob Kuhig. Interesting town, interesting club, and he's had some great ideas, but God love him, I bet he gets called the ugly Yank at least 15 times a day.
You want to see fireworks, guys? You need goals, is what the answer is.
Well, yeah, you need goals, but they're not mutually inconsistent.
Absolutely wrong, Rob.
I'm Simon Hallett, I'm 68 years old, and I'm chairman of Plymouth Argyle Football Club. I've been here 33 years in the United States. I made my money helping to run an investment firm in New Jersey. A few years ago, I decided that I'd like to get involved with my boyhood football club. They were recovering from financial difficulties. I happened to have some money.
Simon Hallett at least sounds like an Englishman. Plymouth Argyle, big club, big crowds. The only problem is Plymouth is about as close to London as London is to the sun.
Nigel Travis, age 74, chairman, Leyton Orient Football Club.
To be fair, Nigel's done some great things at Orient already, but Brisbane Road isn't exactly the new stadium at Tottenham.
To be honest, to buy a football club you have to be slightly insane, so I'm probably insane.
We all took this crazy plunge to be the caretaker of something that means so much for so many. Frankly, I didn't realize how much it meant to so many people.
I'm not very good at carrying cash around, but I think I'd be willing to take out $5 for who finishes the highest in the league this year.
I'm in, Nigel. $5 is a lot of money, but I think it shows that it's not really about the money, it's about the winning, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a nice decoration for my study because I'm going to put it on my wall.
Well, you're going to be waiting a long time because you're going to finish bottom based on where we are right now.
I get a kick out of Nigel. I have a little internal bet as to how long it takes him before he mentions that he's the former CEO of Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm pretty confident that we'll do okay this year, but what we really want to do is beat Rob Kuhig.
Simon's got a lot of money. Nigel, of course, talks like he's got a lot of money. And me, I could use the $5.
All right, so spoiler alert, your boy won the $5, and you can just look that up. I mean, that's how the standings went. But first of all, you, my friend, great cameos. You know, you sparkled. That's your Hollywood moment. That was very, very good. Your thoughts? I mean, did we capture the zeitgeist of what it's all about in those 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, I think he did. And, having Rob employed me, to come and work for the club. And, one of the biggest challenges for me initially was understanding Rob's sort of very American outlook. It's not just Rob. I think you as a nation have this. And I think it's to your credit is that you're all optimistic. English football fans, you give me £1 million, I'll tell you it will ruin my life. In America, you go and do whatever. But here, we're very much glass half full. Rob, his glass was always overflowing, no matter how bad the situations were or if we had an injury list. He was always thinking we were going to win. He got us into the championship. He stood up in the bar when he told the fans that he was going to buy the club and said, this club's going to be in the championship. People laughed at him. And 10 months later, we were there. And, you have to admire the belief. Sometimes I still stagger at how it happened, but it happened. And that in a nutshell was Rob. And I can see it now across the game with these characters that are coming into it. And that was the biggest cultural difference for me.
Yeah, and as I've gotten to know you English, it really is like, I mean, you guys are just waiting for that glass, whether it's half full, quarter full, you're just ready for it to spill. I mean, you assume that it's going to turn to shite, as you pronounce it, and that's just how it's going to go. So here's what I did, and I wanted to show this to you organically. I'm going to try to be better with the tech here, so I mean, I'm just not very good at this yet, but I'll get there. I took myself out on like a little self-date this past weekend. I wanted to try to see if I could see 3 different levels of the pyramid matches. I'm calling them matches, not games. I'm working on that at the grounds, not the stadium. I'm not always good at that either. You're going to hear the exact same music that you just heard from the trailer, and that's because I don't have to pay royalties on it. I wrote and produced and performed that music expressly so that I didn't have to get ASCAP involved and pay royalties. So in an effort to try to, I think it's catchy enough. I want to try to get, an earworm going to people. So I'm adding that music. I want to show you this. It's about 5 minutes of my curated field trip all around London. Cost me about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 pounds to travel around that day. Maybe, I don't know, 9 pounds worth of meat pies. And here's what it looked like. I just want to get this is my attempt to try to find my Al Michaels thing. If you don't know, Al Michaels, much more famous sportscaster than I ever was. And I'm still a sportscaster on occasion. But what Al did, which is genius, is he decided to follow and adopt the LA Kings hockey team as his own, just as a fan. Didn't have to prep for any broadcast, just went, still goes to games, just loves it as a fan. So English soccer has become that for me. I've become a real fan of the EFL, which is the 72 teams right below the Premier League. It's not quite minor league baseball, but I mean, it's kind of like minor league baseball. Anyway, I'm in London. I'm pulling off the triple today. I'm going to go see 3 matches in one day at 3 different levels, tiers 2, 3, and 4. Actually, in order, it will be tiers 2, 4, and 3, I guess. Starting with the championship. Loftus Road, baby.
Let's go!
See, this is the kind of community that you find when you just get out on the road and do this stuff. Come with me. We're going to see Queen's Park Rangers. Let's go.
On the ground, boys, now you're here in our hearts. Victory's looming and we're consuming, so get stuck in from the start. Leave it all on the pitch, lads. Keep your heads to the sky, and they'll remember our fierce contender. We're giving them a reason why. Hey, 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 hey. Keep your boots on the ground, boys. Now you're here in our hearts. Victory's looming and we're consuming, so get stuck
right, had to leave QPR and West Brom 1-1 at halftime in order to get all the way here to Milton Keynes. Where the heck is Milton Keynes? What is a Milton Keynes? It's kind of a urban planning situation. London was getting crowded. They said, let's build some stuff out in the suburbs, incorporate some existing towns. We'll call it Milton Keynes. This club used to be Wimbledon. That's 56 miles away. Very American to just pick up a team, plunk it down somewhere else. It's like the Chargers going from San Diego to LA. That doesn't happen in England. So Wimbledon now has its own team, regenerated. This is now MK Dons. Nobody likes MK Dons in the UK because it's just unfathomable that they could pick up a team and move it. But here we are checking out MK Dons. I lost my windscreen. It's getting very breezy and you can probably hear that right now, but it's almost match time. I gotta go.
Keep your boots on the ground, boys. Now you're here in our hearts. Victory's looming and we're consuming, so get stuck in from the start. Leave it all on the pitch, lads. Keep your heads to the sky, and they'll remember our fierce contender. We're giving them a reason why.
I made it to the breezy east side of London. Had to leave MK Dons at halftime, 2-1. They were down to Bradford City. But this is the boogie down. This is East London. This is where Leyton Orient plays. The O's hosting both. Their fans will say, come on, you Whites. Home fans will say, come on, you O's, kind of like we say, let's go Mets. They do come on, you whatevers here in the UK. This is League One. This is a classic stadium. I'm going to go inside, have me something to eat, watch a little football. All right, not to toot my own horn here, but beep, beep, got it done. Saw a championship game, saw a League Two game, League One now in the books as well, with Leyton Orient's ground having been traversed. These fans are being very nice not to knock into me, and I appreciate that. Next time, your time to come here. The Walter Payton Chicago Bears jersey walking by just for giggles at the end. All right, so did I capture, again, I use the word zeitgeist, which I know is German and not English, but did I get the spirit right? I mean, my take was QPR's got kind of a classic grounds, and I liked it a lot. Obviously, Leyton Orient, same thing. MK Dons to me is like the least representative club in all of the 72, but they just happened to be home, so I went and saw them. Did I get that about right?
Yeah, I think it's a really good three choices you make, because QPR is tight everywhere around the stadium. You've got the housing estates, you've got, Shepherd's Bush Green round the corner. It's right in the middle of the community. If you go out for a beer at half time, if you're in the main stand, if someone's doing their garden, you can pretty much lean over and give them a hand. That's how tight it is. And it's right in the middle of West London. Similar for Leyton Orient, MK Dons, we talked about cultural differences in sport. Franchising here in football is a no-no. MK Dons slip through the net. They are hated by everyone else. I've got shoes that are older than MK Dons. We love our history here. And the fact that Wimbledon remained where they were, had to start right at the bottom again, 14th, 15th tier, work their way back up. They're now in the same division again and have been a few times over the last few years. That's a really interesting rivalry. But old people like me look at MK Dons and go, do you know what? We don't agree with how you've come into the game. Younger fans are getting tuned into it. They've got a good academy. They're producing young players. But, the stadium is nice, but it's soulless. They've got no fans. People don't like them. So the other two clubs you chose, fantastic. Really, really good. Fantastic. But really good comparison. And, I like the fact you've enjoyed our trains and our tubes. I think you've done well to get around, because those haven't worked properly since the London Olympics in 2012. So you've done really well there.
I am minding the gap, and I'm seeing it, saying it, sorting it. Those are three things or two things, I guess, that we, again, you guys take for granted. You hear that voice say, see it, say it, sorted. You hear the disembodied voice say, mind the gap. And to Americans, we're like, what the hell? What do they even mean? And you guys hear that all the time. You're numb to it. Before I let you go, this is another fascinating thing to me, because we share a common language, but sometimes we just don't. So one of the very first things you said about me leaving at halftime, I call it halftime, you call it halftime. And I went to the game on Sunday, the match on Sunday, to see a team called Wednesday, Sheffield Wednesday, which has a great backstory. But I noticed that people were saying in the chants, Wednesday. And I'm like, well, no, it's pronounced Wednesday. Like, I mean, even Sir Elton John doesn't say Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. He says Saturday night's all right for fighting. We accent the first syllable of everything. You guys don't. That's weird to me. So what am I getting wrong?
I don't know, really. If you're going to talk about Elton John, he wanted to sell records. So if you want to sell records, you pander to the Americans. Maybe but Wednesday, maybe.
You said records. I say record. I can't get in sync on that at all.
I've retained my London accent. I may not be the best example of the Queen's English here, Josh, but no, I don't know. I think we stress things, and I think the fact that the chants, the more you come to English football grounds, the chants that we have here, they're inventive, they're funny, and sometimes you have to kind of play around with the pronunciation and where the beat lies to make it fit. And there's nothing better than, seeing 2,000 to 5,000 people all singing a quite intricate lyrical song to a well-known tune, and the way they work it in and fit it together and how they start. They've written in the pubs, someone at the back will start it with the loudest voice and then bang, they're away. So yeah, I think we just have to kind of, you have to give us a little bit of musical license here.
Okay, a little wiggle room. Yeah,
Wednesday's a great story and a great club, and they've got some good chants up there.
So they played Plymouth, I would say Plymouth Argyle, and I hear everybody say Plymouth Argyle. So again, Same thing. To my ears, it's just funky, but I'll learn to live with it. Hey, before I let you go, since you mentioned the chants, and I always have an ear out trying to join in, and I can never quite catch up in time. But you've been around long enough. What are your favorite one or two most creative? Could be for a player, could be for a team. Like, give me a good example of what you're talking about before we go.
Oh, wow, you put me on the spot here, because I've been up in the gantry for too long and not on the terrace enough. So I'm just trying to think. I don't know.
Dirty.
That's the problem I've got. I mean, what's the license when it comes to that as well? They can be pretty brutal, the chants as well. But yeah, that's a tough question, Josh, because every team's got their own different versions.
Yeah. And think on it. I mean, we're at the end of our time anyway, so it's a good assignment for episode 2, because I really am interested in the good ones, the creative ones. But hey, anyway, Phil, thank you for doing this, brother. I'm excited to go forward with you. I'm excited to keep learning about. Look, I feel like I've learned about maybe 3 or 4 of the teams already, or sides, or clubs, excuse me. And I've got 67 or 68 to go. So we're getting there.
You're going to be speaking like me in a couple of weeks, Josh, and that is frankly, that's going to be quite interesting to watch that evolve.
I was going to say God save the Queen, and then I'd stop myself. I guess even that's wrong now. It's the King.
She's gone, mate. Yeah, it's the King.
I heard.
Charles.
Yeah, I got the memo.
It's big news around here.
Yeah, even Americans heard about that. Peace out, brother. Talk to you soon.
Nice one.